Hi, this is Dentinger, editor of the Inner Peace Parenting magazine, and the month of January 2013 is on consciousness. So I'd like to give you a couple takes on consciousness. Now, one part of consciousness would be the practical side, and I did a video on that. And another side is actually the spiritual, let's say the evolutionary part of consciousness, which is rising to our higher self. So here I'm in this middle-aged monastery outside of the city where I live, Torino, and it's all about a symbolic representation of consciousness. And places like this are places that are so peaceful because there's the quiet, the nature. Somehow, I guess, back in the 1500s, they knew where to construct places. One, they probably didn't have the overpopulated cities that we do. But there's that sense of peace in all of these types of places that make them enjoyable to visit. Now, this abbey's construction began at the end of the 10th century, and it was initially a Benedictine monastery, but then it developed into an international center of spirituality and culture that was actually renowned through Europe. It's where pilgrims could find, let's say, a safe haven. And then centuries later, obviously, it was put into more political hands, and so it lost its actually religious prestige. So, when we talk about consciousness, it's not the religious side, it's actually just the spiritual side. And it's never by chance that these monasteries and abbeys are built on the tops of rocks, a lot of times on the top of granite rocks, because it's being up high on a mountain that you actually would ascend higher into your higher self. Now let's take a look inside. But the use of stairs and tying that into consciousness is because we are called, let's say, to rise above, to leave a lower level existence and ascend to a higher level existence. So that's why often there are the stairs to really show you the path, let's say. So what is it in your day, in your daily routine, in the way you handle yourself, your children, your family, that's still, let's say, a little bit low level? Now, the lower plane, which is considered the physical plane, is made of very practical, important things. I think the body needs to be taken care of. You need daily hygiene, you need food, water, you need sleep. And it's important to live well these, let's say, lower plane experiences. And it's important to do them well. When you raise to higher levels of consciousness, then you realize that you're not just a physical body. That with that physical body comes an emotional state, an emotional way of being. Now, are your emotions higher, let's say joy and love and happiness? Or are your emotions lower, down in anger and despair or depression or frustration? So that's what consciousness is about, is raising your level of consciousness, even to a higher level of emotional consciousness. And now a higher level even of intellectual, mental consciousness, which means low-level thoughts are, criticisms, are being against people, are fear-based, instead of higher level thoughts are thoughts about appreciating other people, enjoying people, having thoughts that help you, that sustain, like a positive self-talk, that sustain your even growing. That way you can climb up by nourishing yourself with positive thoughts and positive emotions. You raise your awareness to then connect yourself to, let's say, your purpose in life. And so raising our consciousness is connecting with a higher, a better, a happier, more joyful, let's say even a spiritual being. So let's climb the stairs. So climbing the stairs in places like this is tough because they're middle-aged stairs. They're either small and tight or they're tall and long, and it takes work to climb up all these stairs. It's the same with with working on ourselves. Even working on ourselves is a tough job. It's not the easiest thing to climb out of bad habits, bad ways of thinking, bad ways of reacting to stress. But when you do it, you get to a new plane of existence. There's fresh air, and it really is worth the work. Now, my job as editor of the Inner Peace Parenting magazine is really, let's say, my creative outlet, because I like to connect and network with people around the world that are interested in the same thing that I am. Basically, creating a more peaceful world by starting with peace in the home, giving parents tools so they can handle this responsibility of raising children, and making it a little bit less worrisome and stressful and tiring. But what my real day job is a trainer. And I train people, let's say, in 3 major areas to find out who they are, why they're here, and what they can do better. And I say it's the 3 Ps, helping you find your personality, your person, your purpose, and your potential. And in my studies, I've done a lot of work with symbology, because tying this into consciousness, what I've found is everything that we have, let's say everything is perfect. So why would we have a subconscious or unconscious if it didn't serve a purpose? And if it was just sort of meant to be down there and all hidden, then I really don't think we would have gotten it. And what's based even on my studies is that we do have this unconscious and subconscious, but what the purpose is that it will manifest in our daily living. We're just not conscious of how to read the manifestations. So everything that's in our subconscious and unconscious programming always manifests. It's that we need tools to be able to read that and interpret it so it becomes conscious. And so then instead of having these subconscious, unconscious programs running our lives and just manifesting whatever it wants, then we can observe what we have and what we're living, become aware of it, and then change it, either by changing the perspective that we have on that, or by really taking that situation and learning from it. Because raising your consciousness is always learning about this experience. What you like, you keep. What you don't like, you change. So, on to more consciousness talk. Now, in sacred and beautiful places like this, it's important the peace and quiet. So you think about meditation, you think about raising your consciousness, being sort of silent and going inside. So these sort of monasteries, or there are lots of places in the world where there's this silence. But in the family, it's probably difficult. So the consciousness and really the peace in families can be that, yay, I'm alive, that wonderful joy of just being alive and enjoying your family members and having fun and being on the outside and just having a good time. So it's not the peace and quiet that Inner Peace Parenting magazine wants to give you. That peace is only when your kids are asleep. Peace is finding that state no matter where you are or what you're doing. You have the resources to find that place that is a calm, serene place inside, no matter the wind and the storm that's bursting on the outside. Praise. So no matter what wind is blowing you away, you are still peaceful on the inside because you're a more conscious being, conscious of your emotions, your thoughts, your actions. Have a great day.